Hello everyone, my name is Gayatri Rai and I'll be taking English for you guys. So today we'll start with the first poem of first unit, Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. Where the Mind is Without Fear. Rabindranath Tagore was the author of Gitanjali and its profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse. He became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. We all know that Rabindranath Tagore has been one of the most and authentic writers of all time, and his poems have been renowned for several reasons, not just poems, but every other thing that he has written. This poem is one of his vastly read and discussed poems. It was originally composed in Bengali, and later he himself translated it into English. This poem is from his Nobel Prize winning anthology, Gitanjali. Tagore lived during the time when India was ruled by British. In this poem, besides political freedom from British, Tagore also appeals to God for social, educational, and economic freedom for the people of India. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Now, here we are just talking about where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. That means walking without fear or walk with pride and self respect, where knowledge is free, where it's ever giving, never lost to anyone else. They are proud about themselves and not afraid of anything or anyone. He Rabindranath Tagore is wishing for a place where knowledge is free and there are no restrictions. All people should get their right to educate themselves. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. The poet just wants the world to be united as one nation. He portrays a borderless world where people can move about freely. Nations are not fighting against nations for narrow and petty reasons. Narrow domestic walls will also mean narrow mindedness. Where the words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. The poet dreams of a nation where everybody is open and not secretive. People can speak and act from their heart and they work hard without prejudice, or they're just working hard to get their goals. They're encouraging everyone else towards perfection. Perfection doesn't mean that you have to be fully good about it. Every day trying hard to achieve it is perfection itself. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. The poet wants the people to have clear thinking, clear reasoning, logical thinking, like clear waters of stream, and not let their thinking flow towards dreary desert, or basically be held back because of old traditions and rituals or blind beliefs or superstitions. They should be having a logical mind, and they that will not lead them towards any superstitions that could be harmful for them. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. The poet is praying to God and asking him to lead the minds of people towards a broad minded thought and action and not be stagnated by narrow mind beliefs. He just wanted his people to be free in every other basis. He wants Heaven of freedom, as given in the glossary, condition of total freedom of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds while respecting those of others. He wants his people to have open mindedness. Now we'll be going through all the questions also. What does the poet pray to Almighty for? Rabindranath Tagore pleads with the Almighty to awaken his countrymen or people in the country into a heaven of freedom, having good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Now you can go and write the answer for that question in your own words, which is these three lines. What he is praying to Almighty for. So you can go ahead and whatever you understood from these three lines, you can write it in your own words for that question itself. What are reason and dead habit compared to? That's here. Reason is compared to a clear stream, and dead habit is compared to dreary desert sand. What does the poet wish for? The poet wishes to awaken his country into a heaven of freedom, having good thoughts, good deeds, and good words. He wants his people to be united. He wants his people to get rid of all the narrow mindedness, the superstition itself, so that they can think logically and move forward with a positive mindset. Now, so in your notebook, write down the lines from the poem as a proof of the following. Tagore wishes for a nation where people are truthful. Now, that is the line where the words come out from the depth of truth. We go down. The poet would like everyone to work hard to reach their goal and, in the long run, to reach perfection, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. The poet wishes that everyone in his country hold his head high in dignity, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high is the line for it. The poet dreams of a nation where knowledge should be free to all. Where the knowledge is free is the sentence that will be a proof for this sentence given to you. The poem is a prayer. He's praying to the Almighty. He's praying to thee for his country to be awake. The last line itself. Now we'll go to the match the following. The head is held high. What do you think it is? It is C. So where the head is held high is C. 1C. Please write down the answer while you are actually going through the poem. Narrow domestic walls. Narrow mindedness. 2D. Knowledge is free. Education is given to all. 3E. Depth of truth. Sincerity of heart. 4B. Mind is without fear. A fearless person. 5A. Stretches its arms. Aim at perfection. 6H. Clear stream of reason. Clear thinking. 7G. Dead habits. Dried up infertile land of sands. 8F. ever widening thought and action, broadening the outlook and attitude. 9. I. Please pause if you feel like I'm rushing and write down the answers then and there. Answer the following in your own words. Now, I can still help you with these, but these are more personal response, so you need to write what you think about it. How is the world broken into fragments? As it's said before, our world is broken into fragments on the basis of religion, caste, class, customs, rituals, traditions, and color in societies and between countries of the world. You can write the thing given in the glossary. Narrow domestic walls has been given to you, where it's written division on the basis of religion, caste, class, and color in societies and between countries of the world. You can also write that. It's basically the same thing. Explain what the tireless striving should be for. Tireless striving means continuous effort and struggle aiming towards perfection. Even that is given in the glossary, where words come out of from the depth of truth, where words are spoken straight from the heart without being afraid of any consequences. People should be honest in what they speak. Fourth question. Who is thee in the poem? What does the poet appeal to thee to do? Thee in the poem is referred to God by the poet. The poet appeals to God to awaken his country into a heaven, experiencing true freedom of thoughts, words, and actions which are good. Fifth question. What qualities does the poet wish to inculcate in his countrymen? The poet wishes to inculcate the qualities of hard work and broad-mindedness into his countrymen. Now, is the poem for India alone? It is not. It is for the people and countries worldwide. What should the words we speak reflect? It should reflect the truth, integrity, and honesty always. What should people keep on widening? How can it be done? People should keep on widening their thoughts and actions, be more open minded without fearing the consequences. This can be done by a mind which is fearless and where they are proud of themselves, no matter what they do. Now, that doesn't mean that doing bad things and still being proud of it. It's supposed to be doing even the smallest of work and still keeping a good, positive mindset about it. From what darkness of night should our country awake? Our nation should arise from the darkness of ignorance, old traditions, rituals, and customs, and every other division based on class, creed, and color. What attributes of Rabindranath Tagore does the poem reflect? Now, this is about every other thing that I just told you about the poem. Every other line, whatever you feel he's giving you an idea about, write that down. In summary, it is more about patriotism, concern for his countrymen, faith in God, broad mindedness, love for truth, education, respect for others' freedoms, strong disapproval to ignorance, old traditions and rituals and customs, and his opposition to division based on religion, caste, color, and creed. What does the repetition of the word where at the beginning of each line have an effect? The repetition of the word where points out to the place that is our country, India, where Tagore wants God to show mercy. Now, concepts in the poem: present situation and accepted ideal situation. Mind, the present situation is mind is full of fear. What he wants it to be is a fearless mind. The present situation for head is the head is held down or low, and expected is head is held high. Knowledge. Knowledge is restricted, is the present situation. What he wants it to be is that knowledge should be free. Words are lies, are shallow. What he wants it to be is from the depth of truth. Habit are dead, dead habits. He wants people to have logical thinking. Thought and action based on superstitions. What he wants it to be is based on logical thinking or open mindedness. Complete the following sentences using your own interpretation. This can be done by yourself itself, but I'll still be helping you guys out. When the mind is without fear and head unbowed or unbowed, we enjoy total freedom. We enjoy complete or total freedom. Second, when knowledge is free, every citizen enjoys the right to speak and debate. This can be changed by whatever you feel is right, but for me, it should be speak and debate. We can prevent social injustice when we pull down discriminatory walls of caste, class, religion, etc. We can prevent social or worldwide injustice because the problem of discrimination is not just in our country, it's in all the other ones also. Constant effort and strife leads to perfection, or it can also be success. Logical thinking and reasoning can put a stop to superstitions and old beliefs. Tagore appeals to God to make his country a free heaven or heaven of freedom. Tagore appeals to God to make his country a heaven of freedom. Fill in the blanks. Students should keep themselves aloof from narrow mindedness. Aloof is also away or keep them from. Okay. When knowledge is free or knowledge is not restricted, everyone will be literate. It is a social duty of every student of modern world to uproot dead habits or superstitions from societies. Students must develop open-minded outlook and attitudes. In the world of psychophancy or psychophancy, in the world of psychophancy, students must be truthful. Psychophancy is in a world full of shallowness, shallow mindedness, where most of the people are not honest. It's that way. So, psychophancy is also buttering up. Find out the examples of metaphors from the poem. Now, we'll be going through all these figures of speech from poem line by line. So, please write down. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. In this line, the figure of speech is alliteration because the sound H is repeated in the words head, held, and high. The second line doesn't have any figures of speech. In the third line also there is no figure of speech. The fourth line, by narrow domestic walls, is a metaphor. It's comparing walls and domestic It's comparing narrow and domestic voice indirectly. The fifth line also doesn't have any figure of speech. The sixth one, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, is personification. Tireless striving stretches its arms. Here, the human quality of stretching arms is given to tireless striving, which is not even human. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way. Here, clear stream of reason is a metaphor. Reason is compared to a clear stream without the words like, as in the sentence. It's metaphor. Into the dreary desert sand of dead habit is also metaphor. Dreary desert sand of dead habit. Dead habits are compared to dreary desert sand. It can also be alliteration because the sounds the is repeated in dreary, desert, and dead. When the mind is led forward by thee is synecdoche in a way that the mind is basically a part of whole. Synecdoche means part of whole or whole of part. Now that means a word can be a small part of the meaning that is behind it, or it can be the whole meaning behind a part of it. Here, where the mind is led forward by thee, mind is actually representing the human population itself, people. Now, people is a big thing. We are just using a small word for it, a part of the word for it, mind. So that's synecdoche. If you do like the video, please tell us by liking the video. And if you have any questions or doubts, please go down to the comment sections and write your questions and doubts. We'll be happy to come and solve them for you guys.